animals. She almost poisoned Lotus. And for what? It's true that I've never seen an animal move to the inner paddocks that's returned to outer enclosures, but she's suggesting what? That the conservator is culling the herd. I mean, this is a crisis. Lotus is the prize of the menagerie. She wouldn't... This is insane. You know that? What do you need from me? It's a bit morbid, but I would search the bodies by the staff quarters near the main entrance. One of Vinalora's rangers might have had a key. All right, Elise, I'll help you. But if we don't find anything unusual in the conservatory, I'm turning you over to Vinalora myself.
Deal. If I'm crazy, go ahead and turn me in. But you know there's something going on here, Talmar.
Let's just get this over with. Did you find the keys? I'm feeling exposed out here.
Ew. What's that smell? It's coming from over here. I knew they were up to something here. Smells awful. Alchemical. This equipment isn't incriminating enough on its own, though. Vinalora could justify it for medicinal uses. We need to find evidence that can't be explained away so easily. Samples, records, a test subject. Anything that proves without a doubt that the animals here are being used for something other than conservation. There's probably more upstairs.
Let's hurry. Whatever's going on here, I don't want Lotus to be a part of it.
Whoa. These poor creatures. Let's find out what Vinalora was doing with them. Hey, what are you reading over there? You found something important, didn't you? I could read it on your face from across the room. What's in those papers? Vinalora, you piece of... This is everything I need to prove she's been abusing her position here. I have to get this to the Proxy Queen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he deserves to know. Let's find him and get out of here before our luck runs out. This should be all I need. Where did Talamar wander off to?
Disobedience doesn't suit you, Talamar. Uncooperative animals don't last long here.
What have you done with Lotus, you monster?
I'd be more concerned for yourself right now. Try something rash, and Talamar will sprout an arrow from the eye. You've all caused me enough trouble for one day. They're a very special beast. Revered, even, as blessed beings who are as graced by the gods as we Ultima. They are a gift to our people, not found anywhere else in the world, and we have squandered their potential too long. Maintaining our natural primacy, what else? The mongrels of Tamriel infest everything, even our unspoiled isles now. But their overgrowth can be curbed. They only need a natural predator. The Indrix will be our immortal Adric Avengers. You're in no position to stop me. This enclosure is as strong as a fortress, and these barriers are impenetrable by even the Indrix' effortless teleportation. Surrender before my... What was that? No! The wards! The Indrix will run wild! Elise, I should have known you'd be behind this!
Good luck containing your experiments. We'll give your regards to the Queen.
This isn't over, mongrel! You'll all pay for this!
Damn Vinalora! I can't let her turn Lotus into some sort of monster. I have to find her. It should be me. I'm the closest to family she has next to the Queen. Oh, I feel so helpless. Promise me you'll bring back Lotus unharmed. I don't want to think about that. Finding Lotus comes first. If she's changed, you just have to get through to her. Thank you for everything. Be careful.
Vinalora must have been more shaken than she looked. She didn't hit anything vital, far as I can tell. I don't usually work on people, but if I can stitch up feuding a Chater, I can handle this. You can't be serious. There's nothing stopping Lotus from escaping on her own now. We've got what we need to bring Vinalora down. There's no reason to risk your life. He's lucky to have found someone as foolish as he is. At least take my ward breaker, in case Vinalora reactivates the cages. I'll get Talamar out of harm's way. Good luck, all right? Hang on, Talamar. We'll get you out of here.
I've been wanting to see how the latest serum performs in live tests. Let's find out.
She's mad! Run while you can!
I'll wipe your base filth from Summerset and the world.
Lotus! She's all right! Thank Zephyr! Oh, thank you!
Damn it, Talamar! You're going to reopen that wound.
It's so good to see Lotus alive and well. I couldn't stop thinking of her, scared and injured, or worse. If Vinalora had turned her into some kind of monster, I swear! We should flee before Vinalora and her rangers come after us. Gods, that's terrible. I won't shed tears over Vinalora. She had to be stopped. But I'm so sorry you have her blood on your hands. I guess this is the end of the royal menagerie. With the conservator gone, there's no one in charge of trying to get this place back in order. It'll all come apart by the time the proxy queen allocates a replacement. If she allocates a replacement. Me? Run the menagerie? I'd love to see it put back the way I remember it. But will it ever be the same now that I know what was really happening here? I could just take Lotus and put all this behind us. Yes, I know myself well enough to know I would be miserable just abandoning this place. I've poured so much of my life into it. Maybe I can do some good here. Change the way these animals are treated. These animals deserve better than to be left to fend for themselves. I owe them that much. I'll do everything I can for them. You have my word. Don't suppose I could declare it a wildlife preserve and leave the animals to roam freely, could I? I'm going to have my work cut out for me getting this place back in order. Wild Indriks are aggressive towards things they perceive as threats. Even if Vinalora hadn't given them her vile serums, they couldn't have been happy about being penned up like cattle. There may be hope for them, if the legends are true. It is said that when Indrik die, their souls don't leave Mundus. Instead, Zephyr plants them back into the land to sprout again as reborn fawns. If it's true, you think they remember their old lives? I like to believe Lotus will remember me. Then I do hope they forgive us for her transgressions. I'll do my best to make it up to any others I meet. I'll take Lotus and try to find other survivors who escaped the chaos. Convincing them to return won't be easy, but I'm certain I can get at least a few other keepers and rangers to follow my lead. After that, a whole lot of wrangling. She's gone, and their operation is in shambles. I don't see why they'd stick around. But I'll be sure to burn their research at the first opportunity. Nothing like that will ever happen again under my watch. She endangered every living thing here with the stunt she pulled. It'll be days before we know the final toll of stopping Vinalora. I know Elise did this for the right reasons, but I don't know that I can forgive her for all this bloodshed. That's what makes it hard. Everything worked out for me. It's not my grudge I'm holding on to. It's theirs. All those innocent lives. She's a good person, but I'm going to need time.
I was going to recommend that the Queen shut this place down when I gave my report. But if Talamar thinks he can rebuild it into a place where the animals come first, I bet I can make the promotion stick. He was always her favorite keeper. I'll head to Alinor to present my findings to the Proxy Queen and send a letter to Queen Irene. After that, I don't know. I'm not really much use to either of them now. I guess a life of tending stables is all I'm really suited for. You think? It was you who wound up doing most of the work. But I guess I did a pretty good job of sabotaging everything. Maybe I have a new calling in breaking things. I suppose I do owe him for the mess I made. Assuming he'll even trust me around another animal, I'll consider it. One way or another, I'll get him the help he needs. Promise.
Rilis the 12th is an embarrassment and an abomination. You did well to destroy him.
Perhaps it's a Daedra. One of the Nebarah could have summoned it.
Whatever could this creature be?
What kind of monster arranges acacias and begonias in the same beds? If you've come to bask in the splendor of my latest outdoor arrangement, you're too late. They're ruined, cast into unsightly disarray by a barbaric vandal. Just go home and spare yourself the disappointment. My garden, my art, has been violated, desecrated by some vulgar wood elf who thinks being raised in the wild gives him the right to pervert my designs. Now he's threatening my life. Can you believe it? Not just a garden, the very art of gardening. Eslian is waging a war on Altmer horticulture. I represent everything he despises, so he's targeting my work. He's gone too far this time, planting stranglers to ward me away. They could kill someone. Stranglers are a stubborn breed. Hacking them up would only be a temporary solution. What I need is proof that the wood elf is responsible, so he can't do any more damage. Perhaps Eslian left something at my gardens that could be incriminating? Weeks ago, Eslian came here to convince me that wilderness should be allowed to grow unchecked and untamed, as in Greenshade. Obviously, I found his argument lacking. It wasn't long after that the tampering began. Of course, but they are of little help. Can't spare time for criminal mischief. It seems sullying our pristine lands doesn't count among the worst things all these Nebarah are up to. It's obvious who the culprit is, but I lack proof, so he runs free. The wood elf's tampering is sloppy, careless, maybe even thoughtless. I'm sure he's left traces of his work. A discarded trowel, foreign seeds, his own dung, or whatever a wood elf uses to fertilize soil. It'd be trivial if not for the stranglers. I am the foremost authority of the Altmer botanical arts. My vision has literally shaped the lay of the land from Alinor to Sunhold, and my best arrangements grace the royal palace. If you take issue with our methods, you take issue with me. Occasionally, there are always up-and-comers looking to stir up controversy or make their mark, but no one who desired any respect in the field would stoop to sabotage or assault. He called our wilderness sterile and artificial, nature as unruly and chaotic, but he's rather missing the point. Orderly cultivated gardens are a refinement of the raw. A plant lacks the intelligence to reach its true potential. It must be guided. Those monstrosities aren't native to any isle of Summerset, and they couldn't have crossed the seas naturally. Even if they could, the stranglers would be more widespread. They were brought here and planted deliberately among my arrangements.
It's safe over this way. Follow me. I don't think anything untoward's taken root here. Let's, have a chat, shall we? Hope those stranglers didn't hurt you. They're ornery buggers. Nearly ate my fool cousin one time, but he was so drunk that... no, never mind, not the time. As you can see, there's a bit of an infestation. Real mess. Has me a bit at a loss. Oh, have we met? Sorry, I don't remember. Never been good with names, or faces, or most details, really. Mom used to say my head would drift straight into the clouds if not for the canopy. Were you looking for me? Me? No. Well, yes, but not intentionally. You see, my brother's a bit of a prankster, and strangler seeds look a lot like white acacia. The short of it is, I did plant them. I just didn't know they were stranglers, and now I'm trying to get rid of them. Killing them's not the hard part. I'll brew the poison that'll choke the roots until they're brown in the fronds. Trouble is, can't think of a way to use it without breaking the Green Pact. It's a real moral quandary. Oh, yeah, that'd do. Whew, that's a load off my shoulders. Dribble a bit of this in the water sources around here and the stranglers should die off in a few weeks. Just the stranglers, though, promise. I should go apologise to Vinifwe for this. Oh, vandalise? Me? I'm not the one herding plants in a cramped little rose. Lashing vines to stakes, amputating the branches of perfectly healthy trees to warp them to some unnatural ideal. I was just showing her what natural beauty looks like. Well, the moment I spoke to her, I could tell she'd never seen untamed wilds. Her entire concept of nature is perverse, if I'm blunt. I thought if I could breathe some life into those sterile gardens, she might finally see what she's missing. Well, I'm sure this little misunderstanding with the stranglers didn't help my case, but that's a bit much. I should clear things up with Vinifwe before this situation gets any more out of control. All the stories I've heard about Summerset described it as a paradise. Pristine, idyllic, beautiful. The moment I heard the High Elves were opening the Isles to visitors, I knew I had to see them. Now that I'm here, it just feels fake. You know, artificial. Like everything is an imitation. It's like nothing can be its true self. Everything, down to the last blade of grass, has to be manicured. Forced to be something it's not. It's not beautiful. It's tyranny. But it's the wilderness. Birds make their nests and Bosmer grow their homes. But beyond those borders, it's Ifra's domain. I don't expect everyone to abide the Green Pact, but enslaving the land like this just feels wrong. Sort of a vow, a promise to the Green, that we'd protect it from harm and in return it would be our own. Now, I know we're not in Valenwood, but those seeds are of the Green, and the idea of harming them makes me sick to the core. Better believe it. Any Bosmer who so much as plucks a petal from the Green is doomed to the ooze. Song left unsung forever after. Like you never were. Even if you don't think much of yourself, there's something to fear in that. For you, sure, it's not your pact. For me, I'm hoping so. I'm supposed to protect the Green, but we're a long ways from there. Ifra, forgive me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I hear a breach nearby. You can't, can you? Count yourself lucky. Sounds like a swarm of bees bouncing around in a tin bucket full of sleigh bells. Sort of like that racket bards make.
told you, this is all just a misunderstanding. Oh, friend, a little help?
I need a break.
Hi again. In a bit of a bind, as you can see. I tried to apologize, I really did, but she's telling the prosecution I've been terrorizing her. I could use some good news. How'd you fare with those stranglers? Oh, thank Ifra for that. It'll take some time for them to die off, but they'll be too sick to hurt anyone soon. Could you explain that to the good officers of the law here? How this was all an unfortunate accident and I helped make it right? I did meddle a bit, but I didn't mean any harm by it. Surely tossing me in jail's blowing the whole thing out of proportion, right? Promise I'll never do it again. I'll even transplant my additions someplace where they'll be appreciated.
I don't know what fictions that wood elf has been filling your ear with, but I can assure you it's all an attempt to weasel out of punishment. If you hadn't intervened, he would have gone on doing what he was doing. His only regret is getting caught. I guarantee it. You really expect that he'll temper his misguided passion through leniency? So long as Eslian walks free, he will continue to deface Summerset's pristine wilderness. He must learn there is a cost to overstepping oneself here.
I did meddle a bit, but I didn't mean any harm. Oh, you're a regular saint. I knew the minute I met you that we'd be peas in a pod. You can count on me to do right by Vinifwe. Still don't agree with her, but I'll think of a better way to make my point once this is all blown over.
You must be the concerned bystander I'm hearing so much about. Both Vinifwe and Eslion claim you can prove their case, which begs all sorts of questions. But I don't have time for that, so let's cut to the heart of the matter. Is Eslion guilty? Given that your testimony is the only real evidence I have, I see no reason to continue dragging out this affair. Eslion will be fined for trespassing and criminal mischief, then released. If I see him here again, he will be jailed. Free the prisoner.
Sorry, really. Truly sorry I am. Won't happen again, officer.
You aren't seriously taking his side in this?
My lady, we need to keep moving. You can't help Sunhold if you're dead.
Katara would be impressed if your victory actually meant something.
You there! Come, newcomer. I have been on my feet for nearly an hour, and I have just about had enough of it. Be so kind as to retrieve my absentee husband and my dear Eustasia, so I might be finished with this so-called leisure stroll. Of course they're missing. My fool husband let our prized hound off her leash to frolic along the beach. Poor Eustasia didn't know what to make of her freedom, and went charging off after a hare. Durell took off in pursuit, and I've seen neither since. Into the wilderness, off toward that old way shrine. How far could they have really gone? I would give anything to have my precious Eustasia safely in my arms again. Find her for me, and I will make it worth your while. I should be reclining on my lounge with a quarter-millennium-aged port, and Eustasia nestled in my bosom. But no, Durell insisted we take a stroll along the beach. Go traipsing off into the woods? What do you take me for? That's better left to people accustomed to such conditions. I am precisely as concerned as I need to be, but I don't see how that's any of your business. If Durell hadn't put me in this very awkward position, I wouldn't need to be concerned at all. A prized waxing terrier. It took 16 generations of careful selection to produce a breed distinct from the common Glenumbran terrier. The region is known for its impurities. I took it as a challenge. Merely a hobby, but one I excel at. My darlings have taken best in show at every show in Summerset. I have even been awarded a commendation for excellence in breeding by the Sapiarchs. Oh, my dear Eustasia! Look at her shaking! She's positively terrified! What happened? Yes. He commissioned this on the announcement of our wedding. Gaudy thing. He's dead, you say? Just like Durell to leave me a mess to clean up. Keep that bauble for your trouble. It must be worth something to someone. Oh, my dear. Yes. Oh, what a disaster. It will take weeks to get the mats out of her coat. Well, I can't tell anyone he died chasing our dog into the woods, can I? It's beneath my dignity. I'll have one of the servants return for him after I've given Eustacia a proper bath. I imagine I'll say he was killed hunting or some such. You see the doe-eyed adoration of that dog? That's the look of a creature who loves too much for her own good. Bless her. Durell was the same way, and look where that got him. I suggest you invest your own cares more prudently and move along.
These reports will be the death of me.
Friend high and... What will be mine?
I take pride in the quality.
dead of Tanzelwell had a lot to say about Irene.
The proxy queen makes it...
The Office of Divine Prosecution seeks deputies with moral aptitude.
More ruins. You know, every stone tells a story. I mean that literally, by the way. That wall over there won't shut up about how much it hates rain. Let's find this bridge and get out of here, eh?
This is what dealing with High Elf nobles gets you, Bringus. Please, you must help. I think my cousin Brengus has been captured by werewolves. Bringus got caught up in a love affair, see? Decided to run off with some High Elf named Nerlin. I was supposed to meet them in Archon's Grove, help them get off the island. But when I got there, all I saw were werewolves. Yes, I'm sure of it. I couldn't find them anywhere. I did meet a High Elf named Estadel. He wouldn't tell me much, but he was definitely searching around the Grove. He may know more about the situation than I do.
I must say, I've just had the most dreadful day. First, my betrothed runs off with some wood elf, and then she manages to get kidnapped by werewolves. At this rate, my reputation may never recover. To think Nirelin would put me in such a position. What do I care about Brengus? Honestly, I'd rather leave the two lovebirds to their fate. But if word got out that I left Nirelin to die, or if she managed to escape and actually marry that wood elf, suffice to say, I can't just leave her. Well, I'm certainly not risking my life. You have the look of a ruffian. Want to take on the task? If you collect Nirelin, or at least what's left of her, I'll make sure you're paid handsomely. Oh, and you could save Brengus as well, I suppose. Excellent. Once you've finished, meet me near the Mages Guild in Shimmerine. Of course, discretion is key here. I want no word getting out about this little incident, not even to common folk. Rumors do tend to spread, after all. Do you know how long this marriage arrangement has been underway? Decades. Decades worth of work. All gone if Nirelin smears her name through wood elf muck. Why, I'd rather suffer 1,000 cuts than such a wound to my reputation. You really don't know? You must be a newcomer. Every high elf marriage in Summerset is meticulously planned. A matchmaker must be contacted to research the couple's star charts, pedigree documents, that sort of thing. It's a lengthy process. It's necessary. After all, we high elves strive for excellence. Marriage is no different. You might want to look into a matchmaker yourself. Of course, it wouldn't take nearly as long as someone of my standing, and you'd be thankful in the end. You know how it is. The pressure of high expectations does not make diamonds of us all. Sometimes someone cracks. Nirelin just cracked harder than most. Ran away from home and straight into a wood elf's arms. Can you even imagine? Break off our engagement? At this point? Preposterous! After all, the invitations have already been sent. Pending death, there's no honorable way to cancel now. Discreetly putting this incident behind us is what's best for both parties. You really don't know? You must be a newcomer.